is it makes us a better person to be more independent, more sustainable, and ultimately a better prepper, homesteader, or better person. So today's video is going to be a good one on this cold, frigid morning here where we have frost on the ground. 10 ways that you can make yourself a better person for what is to come in the near future. Today's video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. If you're new to the Max, go down here, press subscribe and ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up and comment on this video what you think. This is a little different than normal versus just saying we're gonna prep or have this situation going on in our world. This is a list of 10 things that you need to be doing to help you be ready for what is to come. Now the kicker is this: some of these things can be very good for you. Some of these things can be very hard for you. Some of these things can inconvenience you, but ultimately they're all gonna make a better you to then be ready for what's to come. Sometimes our conveniences in America, in this world, could put us in a very detrimental spot because we get used to the easy button. Well, let's not do it easy. Sometimes it's better to do a little extra work to provide yourself with better training, better skills, and a better outcome of some of the things that life can throw at us. Just for full disclosure, a lot of these things we're doing daily here at our home because we want to get to a point where sometimes we make those challenges, and if we don't do them, then we feel guilty for not doing them because we know these will make us better. So let's jump right into it. Number one, you need to spend about 10 to 15 minutes at least. Now these are minimals because I want to get you prepared to start doing these things. Every one of these things you need to be doing longer than what we're talking about here. But number one is put down the remote, put down a time to read something. Read a book. I would challenge you to read a devotion, read the Bible. Spend 10 to 15 minutes of devoted reading. When we read, it helps our mind work in a different time. It helps us gravitate to illustrations in our mind because we don't have a picture. The Bible, a devotion, a non-fictional book, all those things will help us start developing characteristics that sometimes we are not using. Because see, when we listen to something and we see something on television, all the pictures are pretty much in front of us and we're taking that in. Well, when we read a book, fiction, nonfiction, devotion, Bible, whatever you're reading, it helps us develop a new narrative. It helps us build a story in our form, helps us build our own illustrations. So it puts us in a different mindset. I would challenge you to read a word of hope or a Bible passage or a devotion every morning because it will tend to make your day better. I promise you, this is something that when I don't do that, when I don't devote a block of time, my day ends up going worse. Now, the benefit to this is twofold. Reading something, especially some kind of word of encouragement or hope, or like for instance, us with the Bible or devotion, it uplifts you, it gets you ready for some of the things that you will see throughout the day. But as I said, it helps you build illustrations, use parts of your brains that you're probably not using when you're watching TV. Number two would be allot time to devote to walking, jogging, running, fitness, cardio, or some kind of workout. Now, this is a challenge for a lot of people because they may not have the ability. They may have disabilities. They may not be able to get out of the home as much. Spend time focusing on what you can do to help our bodies get rejuvenated. One thing I've realized is the more that I spend maybe running when I hate running, maybe jogging when I hate jogging, walking around the farm versus using a tractor, working out at 5 o'clock in the morning when I don't really want to work out, I want to be in the bed, cozied up, or when I'm outside, for instance, doing a video when it's 32 degrees. It helps our body get used to being inconvenienced. One thing that we need to understand as America is that we're too convenienced. We have TV right at our disposal. Instead of reading something, I can allow somebody to tell me something. Our culture has gotten used to so much conforming to being lethargic and lazy. That's not a good thing. So I challenge you not only to make our minds get better by reading, like number one, but make our bodies get better by inconveniencing it to do things that you typically wouldn't do. Do a little fitness, do a little workout. Everyone can do a little walking. Everyone can spend time developing a little bit of a cardio or a little bit fitness to help our bodies feel better, but also to rejuvenate, revive our bodies to get out of the laziness that America has taught us to be in. Number 3 would be good for the soul. It's doing something for your neighbor, doing something for the person who lives right next door, doing something for the person down the road. Say there's someone you know that's sick. Maybe their abilities won't allow them to get out. Maybe you could just cook for them. Maybe that you can make just a little pie for them. Maybe you can do something out of the ordinary. You could go cut their grass. You can serve them. It's good for the soul. What we see in our world is we do everything narcissistically and we do everything selfishly. We want what we want when we want it, and it's all for us. I'm not saying don't take care of yourself. That's what we do here. We're a self-sustainable prepping farm. Our goal is to always take care of our families. But when we do something for someone else, it allows you to see that you're being a light in someone else's life. Please try to invest time in someone else. Make some soup for someone else. Make a pie for someone else. Write somebody a letter. How many times have you seen people actually write letters anymore? Don't send them an email, don't send them a text. Write them a letter and mail it to them. You don't know how much joy you could bring in someone's life by serving them in a fact that can be better for your soul. It can make you feel better, but ultimately you're serving someone else. Do something for someone else today. Number 4 would be picking up a life skill. This could benefit you so much more in the future. All this list is helping us build almost a way of life like we had, maybe during the Depression times, maybe the times that your parents and grandparents grew up. All these things are good. Reading a good book or the Bible, doing some fitness or working out or walking around, helping someone else. And now 4th, picking up a life skill. It may be practicing with a bow and arrow. It may be getting better with your firearm for self-defense. It may be sewing. It may be quilting. It may be welding. It may be learning something that could help you later. If it's simply woodworking skills, carpentry skills. Here, our goal is, yes, we love when people can come help us on the farm, or we can hire something out. That does make it easy. Sometimes it's good to be a jack of all trades and learn to do those handyman skills on your own. So for instance, we're rebuilding our stanchion right now for our cows. We've redone a lot of our barns. We do a lot of maintenance on our farm because we want to be better. Aiden, my son, and myself, and my wife, Misty, and our oldest daughter, a lot of times we'll practice shooting. We'll practice with our bow and arrows. We'll do more things like that. Misty is a sewer. She's taught our oldest daughter how to sew. Our kids are learning musical instruments, not because musical instruments can save their life, but it's using parts of the brains that sometimes the TV can't teach us. Learning how to be a better person overall. So when we learn those life skills that a lot of times people forget because we just want to hire it out or we don't have time to do those things, we're actually devaluing ourselves. Bring value back to yourself, because one day you may have to use those skills as a bartering tool. One day you may have to help somebody fix a vehicle. One day you may have to help someone build a barn, pull a fence. You never know. Build life skills. Teach your family to build life skills. It's a very good thing to practice day in and day out. Number 5 is a good one too. Go out camping. Go out in the wilderness. Go outdoors. This is for you. This is for you to say, I need to learn how to make a fire. I need to learn how to put up a tent. I need to learn what this tree does. I need to learn to forage. I need to learn what to look for when I'm looking for a deer to hunt or a rabbit to hunt. We need to know how the wilderness works. We need to know that we can go outdoors and do some things. We need to know what this plant can be used for if it's herbal remedies. We need to know that this kind of grass would help or hurt this animal. We need to know that we can eat this mushroom. So go outdoors and understand the wilderness. We've been so indoctrinated to live in the cities and live in suburban America and live in our own comfort that we forgot that there is a gorgeous earth out there that we need to explore. If it's hiking, hike, but understand what foraging, hunting, and gathering actually means. You need to light a fire because you're cold. Say for instance, you had to leave your home for some reason and there needs to be a way that you can purify your water. Cook something over the fire or just keep warm. If you don't know how to start just a fire, how dangerous could it be for you? Number 6 is all about training our body. We need to understand that sometimes we need to be at a calorie deficit. Now what that means is if we're trying to work out or get in shape, that's good too. What I'm saying is inconveniencing yourself. Sometimes don't eat 3 meals and 2 snacks a day. Sometimes learn to just Make it on 2 meals a day. The benefit to this is because one day, if you're used to eating 3,000 calories a day, and that's your normal diet, and you have food always for you, then how are you going to prepare when something goes bad, or when food shortages actually hit, or you get to the point where you have to ration your food? All these things that we're talking about, none of these things are uncommon, especially 15, 20, 30 years ago. But it seems like every one of these things are inconveniencing ourselves now. Learn to inconvenience yourself. Number 7 goes along with that. Quit buying ready-made meals. Quit using a microwave. Learn to make from scratch. Learn to cook from scratch. Learn to enjoy the process of cooking and making food for your family. Don't buy the ready-made meals where you can throw them in the microwave and in 10 minutes you have a full meal. For one thing, there's probably so much junk in that food. It's terrible for you, on top of not enjoying the process. When we enjoy the process of knowing how to make something, if I can make a biscuit, that biscuit will taste a whole lot better than if I just opened a can and put it in the oven. I know sometimes we're inconvenient. I know sometimes we are busy and ready-made food is good. But sometimes it's good just to cook. Sometimes it's good to let your kids come and help you cook. Sometimes it's nice just to say, you know what are we gonna eat today? Let's lay out some food and prep that food so that way we can eat it tonight. For us, it's better when we can raise a food and then cook it. It makes us appreciate that food even better. When I eat a sweet potato that we've raised, or we eat lettuce that we raised, or we milk a cow and we use that milk to make butter, that becomes a more cherished commodity because we understand where the food comes from. So same way of cooking from scratch. And it took 2 hours to fix it. Then we appreciate it a lot more when you tell your family, don't you leave any on your plate. Let's eat it all. Cooking from scratch, first of all, is most likely more healthier because you're using better ingredients, not a lot of preservatives. It also helps your family spend time in the kitchen and around the dinner table because we've spent time doing it together. It's a stewardship and a sustainable and a satisfaction way of looking at food. Enjoy the moment because you're making memories with your children, but you're also getting used to having to fend for yourself and do more things from scratch. And it also will save you money, most likely. Take 3 to 4 days to decide if you really need it. We have gotten so used to being able to just, if we need it, we could go to Amazon, we can go to eBay, we can go to whatever store online and click on it, and guess what? It'll be here in a few days. If we're so used to that, then again, that convenience element is so close. We're so used to just running to the local grocer and grabbing it. We're so used to running to the store and getting it. We're so used to just clicking on the button and it's here the next few days delivered to our door. This goes along with budgeting and making sure we need what we want or want what we need. We have to make sure that we're preparing ourselves to sometimes say we may not need that. Let's wait a few days. If all of a sudden in a few days we still realize we have to have it, then let's get it. If we realize in a few days that, oh, well, we did without and we were okay, then maybe you don't need it. Maybe it's just a want and a desire for convenience, but ultimately we didn't have to have it. So I challenge you, take a few days before you purchase something, big or small, because it will help you not only budget better, it will help you decide, really, is it a want or a need? Teach your children to go outdoors. If you have children or grandchildren, let them play outdoors. Let them get a little dirty. Let them be kids. Not only that, let them learn a chore. Our kids all have chore charts. Our kids all have things they've got to do. Our boys have a little bit different than our girls do. Our olders have a little bit different than our youngers do. Teaching them also chores will help them be better humans as they get older, helps them be more contributors to the world. If we teach our children to do things at a younger age, have chores, have things they need to do, to me, it helps them build critical thinking skills. It helps them understand the value of hard work. Instead of giving your kids just a regular old allowance, instead of giving your kids everything that they could want just because they said they want it, let them understand working for it, doing a chore for it, and then they can get the reward. That is key in teaching your children to be a better adult, not to want handouts just from the government, not to want handouts just from you, not to feel entitled for everything this world can give them. It helps them say, I gotta earn what I want. And what I want, do I need it? You see, all these steps can help us be a better individual overall. Your mother, father, grandfather, grandmother probably taught you, or it got lost along the way. These are very common sense approaches, but they will help us as we go into harder times in America. Number 10, last thing would be spend some time working at a garden or farm at least for a day. Spend time doing your own garden and farm work for a day. So if you live in an area where you can grow a garden, go out there and grow it, because it will make you really understand how hard it is to grow food. Same with your children. If we learn to grow a little food, work in a garden for a season, it will teach you to be very appreciative of what you grew. Same way with farming. You may not can have a farm, but if you could just raise some rabbits, raise some chickens, maybe you live in an apartment and you can't do those things. Maybe you could go to a local farm and say, look, let me just spend a day with you to understand what you do in a day. Maybe let our kids, it's an outing for our family. We can learn something new, like those life skills. Let's go to a farm and let's see how they milk cows for the day. Let's see what we can do to help. Can we help plant something for you? Can we help pull carrots for you? Can we help feed your chickens and feed your rabbits? Can we help doing a processing butcher day? We do workshops here and people come all the time that don't actually have farms, but they want to learn how to process an animal or butcher an animal because one day they may need it. Number 10 is understanding where your food comes from. Talk to so many people. We do tours here on our farm and we run into people all the time and they're like, man, I think it's so cool what you're teaching your kids. My kids don't even really know what a chicken looks like other than a chicken nugget. They don't understand how a chicken becomes a chicken nugget. And what I'm saying is we have lost so many abilities. We've lost so much of that in America. Convenience is not a bad thing. Convenience is a very good thing. And a lot of times if we could go back in time, some of those people that lived during those times would say, enjoy your conveniences. Don't let those conveniences make you lazy. Because if we let those conveniences make us lazy, then we as a population will know nothing. All we'll know is how to do something so easy and push the easy button and not know how to grow food, to do life skills, to fend for ourselves, and to take care of our neighbor. A little bit different of a video today. I wanted you to see that you can be better as a person, and because you're being better as a person and doing these 10 things, it will help you be a better homesteader, a better prepper, a person who is ready for some of the things that they may face, because all these things helps you be more of a critical thinker, helps you be more innovative, helps you be more sustainable, and helps you realize you're not the only person in this world, that you can help someone too. Let me know what you think of this video. Remember to give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, and hey, click subscribe. It takes no effort, doesn't cost you anything, and it sure would make me smile. Thank you so much again for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading.